Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Everything Happens for a Reason podcast. So we have a special guest on today, Shannon.
Hi.
Say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
So the reason I have Shannon on today is just to, I suppose, talk a little bit about business, mummy life, and as well as ADHD, and essentially how there's just not enough support out there for anybody that has been diagnosed or even not diagnosed, I suppose, more so than anything. But so with yourself, I suppose introduce yourself, give us a little bit of background about your story, and we'll go from there.
Well, hello, I'm Shannon. I work for myself. I'm a makeup artist. I do semi-permanent makeup too. I dabbled a bit in social media. I've kind of stepped back from that now, but only because I'm so busy with the rest of my life. Yeah. I'm a single mum. I have a 4-year-old, a very pretty, very this little madam of a 4-year-old. Honestly, she's 4 going on 14.
Oh, I love that.
And yeah, I'm kind of and then I was diagnosed last year, the end of last year, with ADHD.
Okay.
I had to go privately to get my diagnosis because there's nowhere to go. The NHS has nothing. I knew I had it. I've known I've had it from I was about 20. I'm now 30.
Okay, yeah.
I first got told it when I was in university. One of my lecturers told me, have you ever been diagnosed? He's seen all the symptoms. And then I tried to get a diagnosis through the NHS for years. 4 years of trying, and there was just red tape after red tape.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it is a struggle. I think it's a lot. I always knew I was different. I always knew there was something different about me. And it is even getting the diagnosis, a lot of people said, well, why don't you know yourself you have it? Why do you need the diagnosis? Is it because I need help?
100%. And I think a lot of ADHD is becoming more and more spoken about now.
It is, yeah.
And I even see it from my own clients and that side of things. And they're literally I definitely have undiagnosed ADHD. And that word undiagnosed.
It just is. But that's the thing though. Undiagnosed means to the outside world, it means you don't have it.
Yeah.
You don't have it, but that's the thing. With ADHD, before I was diagnosed, ADHD comes with quite a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
And it's different than anxiety. It's the ADHD anxiety. It's if things get if things get on top of you, the more anxiety you have, the more you freeze. So you just don't do anything.
Yeah.
And I would have been calling up the doctors and saying, I'm suffering really bad with anxiety. They would prescribe me antidepressants. Antidepressants does not help.
Yeah.
Because it's not the problem. I'm not depressed. It's not the problem. That's not the main, you get depression from the ADHD, but that's not the issue. And I had antidepressants that made me worse. In fact, one made me suicidal. And I never had it before I took it at all. I was on it for 2 weeks and I was a completely different person.
Yeah.
I was repeating, and it was repeating and repeating. I was never actually given the medication that I actually needed.
Yeah, because they never looked into it. When it comes, if you ring up the doctor and like you said, I'm really struggling with anxiety here, they don't even question anything. They're no. Do you want a therapist through NHS, who, by the way, is going to do absolutely nothing for you?
So I wasn't even offered a therapist. Yeah. I didn't even get that. I was just here's a pill.
Yeah, exactly. And even that on its own is just so messed up, because that's not going to solve your anxiety.
No.
If you, even if it was just anxiety and the ADHD was in the background, that's just putting a pause on your symptoms, and you come off it, and then what? You still have to deal with it, Whereas your anxiety was actually caused from something completely different, which you can't actually control.
Yeah.
And I suppose for yourself, like you mentioned, it was a lecturer that said to you when you were 20.
Yeah.
Did you ever consider it beforehand?
Do you know what? The people did notice I was different from a very young age. I was diagnosed with dyslexia when I was 6.
Okay.
And they did tell my mum when I was diagnosed it's very unusual for dyslexia to come on its own. And they weren't entirely sure, but they couldn't pinpoint anything else.
Okay.
now, back then, obviously, I had the ADHD, which is, I've done my research now, and dyslexia and ADHD very often come together.
Okay.
They come together a lot, but they're still, even now, they're not treated together. They're not actually diagnosed together, even now. And back then, again, I was a female and I was very quiet. I kept to myself. So because I wasn't rowdy or causing problems,
Yes.
I wasn't looked at.
Okay.
And I, like, even when I was getting diagnosed privately recently, that's when I realized a lot of the things I did when I was at school was my ADHD, and it was me masking, because again, females they present differently than males.
I've heard that before, actually. Yeah.
They present with more ADD, but this wasn't realized until maybe 10 years ago now.
Okay.
And this was, like, I'm 30 now. This is whenever I was in school. Like, whenever I was in school, in secondary school in particular, if there was a subject I didn't enjoy, I would have planned, like, I planned my week out like this. Like, I planned my days out like this. I would have planned, if I had a double subject that I didn't enjoy, I used to plan to go to the toilet in between it so I could walk the corridors, because I knew I couldn't sit through a whole class.
100. Yeah. You just needed something to
I just needed
distraction.
I just needed to get out for a bit. And then, like, again, if it was a subject I didn't enjoy, I could not pay attention to what that teacher was saying.
Yeah.
I would be looking at a fucking fly that was on the window, and, like, or somebody else was in the class was doing something, and that's what I was looking at, or something else. And then my train of thought goes completely off what the teacher's actually said. But again, I was quiet. I wasn't rowdy. I kept to myself. No one knew. And then when I was walking around the corridors, going to the toilet in every class, nobody questioned.
Yeah.
Nobody questioned, because I was a good girl.
Yeah, you were quiet. You were just minding your own business. And like you mentioned there, it shows up differently in boys and girls, essentially.
Yeah, it does,
and I've heard that as well before. And boys actually have a higher rate of a diagnosis because they act out.
They act out,
you know, they're the messy ones, the shouting ones in school, whereas obviously for yourself, like you said, nobody even paid attention because you probably just came across as shy.
Yeah.
Or quiet.
Yeah.
And with regards to you ending up going privately then, when was that you went essentially?
So end of last year, and it was the point where I had received, I think, my third letter saying that there is no system in place for adult ADHD, and we're sorry, but there's not even a name to put you on. There's not even a list. Like, there's nothing. And it was to the point where, like, I first started fighting to get a diagnosis when I had my daughter, because living with the ADHD got worse.
Okay.
It got worse to the point where I had her, and I had to put her first. And, like, not that it doesn't make you a bad parent at all, but it just makes life more difficult.
Yeah.
So keeping up with the housework, keeping up with, like, the appointments, the doctor's appointments, like the school life, all of that, it gets a lot harder. A lot, and I knew I needed to get a diagnosis. And again, I had been put on all kinds of antidepressants and stuff. Like, none of them actually helped.
Yeah.
None of them helped. In fact, a lot of the time it made it worse. And then I was like, I received the third letter that then there's nothing for the NHS. There's literally nothing. And my mum said, look, because it's very expensive, privately. Oh my goodness, so expensive.
And if you don't mind me asking, how much was it?
So the initial diagnosis was about £1,000, the initial diagnosis, and then it's another £275 for your follow-up appointments. And then we didn't hear the medication, which now when I started the medication, it was like, oh my goodness, like it was like, this is what I've needed. Like, is this how other people live?
Stop it. That different?
Is this how other people live? It isn't even like it's that much of a difference. It's a small difference that makes a big impact.
Okay.
But it just quiets my brain. My brain normally is going about 90. Like, I describe it like you get a piece of paper and you scribble all over it.
Okay.
And that's the way my head is all the time. That's my brain all the time. And then once I got the medication, it was like, huh.
That's crazy.
And it helps. It doesn't get rid of like a lot of the symptoms, but it helps with the anxiety.
Yeah.
It helps with quieting down the brain. So like instead of having 50 million things through your head at all times, you can focus on the one thing.
Yeah.
And it helps in that sense. But the medication is, so the one that I've been given now, which might not even be the one I stay on. I still have to pay for my follow-up appointments. But it's £110 a month.
Right, yeah.
For the medication. And the NHS doesn't offer that either, even with the diagnosis.
And what, like, why? I know you can't answer that, but
because it's a private diagnosis, so they don't see the NHS have given you that diagnosis, so they will not prescribe the medication because you went privately to get it. Even though there is no system to go through the NHS, there is nothing I can do. There's no system. You still won't give me the medication when I go and get a diagnosis.
That's the thing, because I thought if you would have went privately and they obviously gave you the diagnosis that you can go back then to your GP essentially. But that is an absolute joke. And is it just because you're an adult?
Yeah, it's because, so if I was a child, I could get a diagnosis through the NHS, but they're still having cuts with the medication. There's still there's still a huge waiting list for children too. Yeah. And most of the time it's the schools that are referring them as well.
Yeah.
It's just, and they still have, even through children, there still is massive problems when it comes to NHS and autism and ADHD and all of that. Like it's the money's just, it's not, but there is a system for children. Mm-hmm. There is actually a place to go that you can get your name down on a list. There is somewhere. For adults, no, there's nothing.
Yeah.
At all.
I honestly think everybody in this day and age should be tested. Especially as kids. Do you know what I mean?
Especially as kids, yeah. Like if I was diagnosed as a child, like how different would my life be now?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And as well, even understanding, because as a child I didn't understand.
Yeah.
I always thought I was weird. But I wasn't weird. I just had I had ADHD. Yeah. Sometimes as well I got really frustrating because I just couldn't understand why I couldn't do, like people used to call me, like you could have called me lazy, but I'm far from lazy.
Yeah.
Like it's so much harder to do the things. Like I can hyper focus. I can do makeup for 16 hours. So how am I lazy? But yet doing the washing is
100%.
Piles up and then everything goes into piles. I call them doom piles. You have a doom pile and then you have a doom drawer.
Yeah. No, but absolutely, I completely agree with you. Like if you, like even you saying there, like you felt like you were weird, like you shouldn't have felt that way. Do you know what I mean?
But it's even if I could have got help for when I was a child, if I could have understood what it is I had, I probably would have the skills in later life that I am only learning now. Yeah. Like I could have had a completely different life if I had been diagnosed as a child.
Yeah, and that is scary as well. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like you're always going to look back on from that perspective. But I suppose for yourself, like what has been the biggest struggle with living with ADHD?
There's a lot.
Where do I begin?
I call it my superpower as well as my greatest weakness.
I love it.
Yeah. Because I couldn't do what I do without my ADHD because I hyper focus on things I enjoy. And I love that about me. Like I could sit 16 hours and do makeup and I'm a perfectionist. So everything has to be, but that's the problem. If you come to me, you're not going to be in and out in 40 minutes. That's a 90-minute appointment. Like I cannot, I do things slowly, but I do things right.
Yeah, you do them well.
Yeah. But like if I'm a perfectionist and I can hyper focus. But the thing is, if it's not perfect, right? That'll drive me nuts for the next 2 days. One little thing will drive me absolutely insane for the next 2 days.
Yeah, it'll be the only thing you're hyper fixating on.
Yeah. But it's a struggle in everyday life. Like it is not like people see ADHD on social media and they see, very hyperactive and running about and wild. Yeah. And I was like, that's not what it is. Now there is people that have that. I do have some of the hyper tendencies, but it's more fidgeting for me. Okay. It's more not able to keep still or not able to, I can't sit at home. Like,
Yeah.
that doesn't happen. Like, people say about sitting down and relaxing. Like, no, no,
Not me.
not me. No. I can't, like, I'll be out and about, I'll be driving about, and God knows I'll get probably absolutely nothing done, but for some reason I'm out the whole day.
Yeah.
But it's not that. That's not what it is. What it is like, you know, the washing, if your washing piles up too high, and then it gets piled up and piled up and piled up, you get so much anxiety to do it that it just doesn't get done.
Yeah, you end up so overwhelmed, and nothing changes then. It just keeps going up and up and up.
And then I call it, sometimes you can go through like what's called an ADHD freeze, where you physically, your brain just won't let you do anything at all. It's like, I forget people exist. Like, you thinking, how do you forget people exist? No, you forget people exist. Like, keeping up with friendships, making new friendships is hard. Keeping up with friendships is hard. Relationships is hard. Like, when I say I forget people exist, like, you could be, I might love you. I think you're the best person ever. But if you're not right in front of me, I can forget you exist for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it clicks and I'll send you a message. But if you don't message me back right away, I think you hate me.
Okay.
Like, like, the brain just doesn't work like other people's. It just is, because you get like ADHD comes with like rejection sensitivity. So like, I'll forget somebody exists and I might not talk to them for 3 months, but they've literally disappeared from my mind. But if I message them and they don't message me back right away, I generally think they hate me.
Yeah, you feel that rejection.
Sensitive to rejection, yeah. Like, very, very sensitive to rejection. I've learned how to handle, when I was a teenager or like when I was a young adult as well, that was one thing it was really, really hard for me. Really hard for me. They're sensitive to rejection, because you get a lot of rejection, like, you know, like, especially as like a young adult and a teenager. But I, like, that rejection would have, like, it's like a knife stabbing you, and like, you think about it and think about it and think about it and overthink about it and overthink about it. Like, one wee thing, like, as simple as like somebody saying that they didn't like their, like, if somebody said they didn't like their makeup, which happens, you know, you can't be perfect all the time, but that would literally, like, especially years ago, that would send me into a spiral where I generally think I'm going to quit my job. Like, I'm going to stop
you're just ready to give it all up.
I'm ready to give it all up just from one thing. And now I've learned from that. Now I'm not that person anymore. But see, when I was a young adult, that killed me. Like, and I just couldn't understand why I would go into them absolute spirals. Now I do.
Okay.
But the sensitivity to rejection is awful.
Yeah.
Awful. But it's even like, everyday life is just more difficult. Like, things like, I can't just get out of bed and say I'm going, like, go to the shower and brush your teeth. It doesn't happen. I have to have this inner monologue before I can do something that simple. And then you probably don't end up going to the shower because you forgot to do it.
Okay, yeah. Your brain is just almost like working faster than the rest of your body.
But to the point where things just don't happen.
Yeah.
And then the forgetfulness, it's not as simple as like, where's my phone? It was like every single day I forget. Like, I drove here with the lights on, like, my literally no fuel. This is an hour drive and I have literally drove the whole way with no fuel.
You know what? I'm impressed you made it.
Yeah. I mean, so it's like, it's not just a simple like forgetfulness. I mean, you forget everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Like, I went to the airport 3 times without my passport. 3 times.
I take it you didn't make the holiday.
I did.
Oh, shut up! Yeah,
Only once did I have to rebook my flight. Only once. I think they just felt sorry for me.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is you get so used to it. Like, you get,
you're like, oh, I did it again.
I did it again. It's fine. It'll work out.
It will, though. It will. It wasn't meant to be. You weren't meant to get on that flight. That's the way we're looking at it. No, and I suppose, like, with anybody that might potentially think they have ADHD, what would your advice be for them?
To be honest, I know it's expensive right now, but getting a diagnosis does help. It helps you understand who you are, and it also helps to know that you're not alone, that other people feel this way too, and like, it is a struggle. And I think it annoys me now with social media, the way it presents is just ADHD is just hyperactive. You're just all, and it's almost like it's become like glamorized.
It is. It's almost like a trend now, isn't
A trend.
it?
And I'm like, you have no idea how difficult.
Yeah.
Do you know, I wish I didn't have. I know it's like I say my superpower as well as my greatest weakness, but you have no idea how difficult this is to live
Yeah.
with. Like, this is such a hard, like, it is not easy. It's so hard to live with, and it's who I am. It's part of who I am, but it's not. It shouldn't be glamorized like that.
100%. And I couldn't agree more with you on that, because social media is everything. It's like my ADHD doing this,
Yeah.
but it's like the most silly thing ever. It's like a meme made out of it.
And I think what annoys me most about that is because it kind of makes people who have ADHD, it's just ADHD. Like, what are you complaining about? Or laughing at it.
Yeah.
And then there's people that aren't diagnosed with it and might not have it, and they're saying my ADHD and it clicks in and this and I was like,
yeah, it is. It's almost like making it not
making
serious.
it light. Yeah, making it light of a condition that's not light.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I completely agree with that, where you're saying it's glamorized and it's done in not a positive way. It's like a joke now.
It's a joke,
know?
It's like a joke. It's like something like I joke about it all the time. Like,
but you can.
I have it. I'm allowed to.
Exactly, you can. But that's the thing. Somebody who doesn't have those struggles and they're just genuinely being silly and trying to be funny, they can't say, oh, it's my ADHD. Like, it's not. You did that out of stupidity kind of thing. Like, and I think it is a trend now at the minute, especially on social media.
No, 100%. It is a massive trend on social media. Like, right now, especially, like, it is just, but it's getting ridiculous, to be honest. But it's not, like, I get it, like, for me, and we're entertaining. We are entertaining our ADHD. It is quite fun. Like I said, I went to the airport 3 times with no passport. Like,
I'm sure that wasn't funny at the time, but like, you can laugh about it now.
I can laugh about it now, yeah. But like, and there is a lot of funny things I've done. Like there is a lot of funny things, but it's not. That's not just all it is.
Yeah,
that's not all it is. There's so much struggles to it as well. But yeah, social media has just made such light out of a condition and it's not half the time. That's not even what ADHD is.
Oh, 100%.
Like, I've seen one where somebody's like running about the room really, and I was like, oh yes, we get like suddenly just decide to run about a room like a dog.
We got the zoomies, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. But that's exactly what I mean. It's like I was saying earlier, like, boys are more likely to get diagnosed because they're more hyperactive. So they be
cause
jumping
more of a
around
problem,
classrooms. But a lot of boys who don't have ADHD do that as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just boys being boys, whereas girls don't react in that way just because we're camera, I guess, in general.
We're camera in general, but we mask as well. Girls can mask, so girls copy, especially when you have ADHD. Sometimes you do mask other people's personalities.
Okay.
Which I do sometimes. You don't know you're doing it. Like, you can't control it. Anyone that has ADHD might notice this. Like, if you're hanging around with somebody that has quite a personality, you end up mimicking their personality.
Okay, yeah.
And you don't even realize you're doing it. Like, it's like comes like second nature. But we like girls will like almost mimic themselves into what other people
are acting like.
So that's how the girls are a lot misdiagnosed as well, because we mask.
Okay. And do you think even for yourself, when you were younger and like you were calmer, quieter, do you think a part of you was just doing that like to protect yourself in a sense, because there was so much going on in your head?
Yeah. And I think as well, like, I do, looking back at my school days, like, I do know that wasn't me.
Yeah.
I do know, but I think I was also pretending to be who I hung around, not who I hung around with. So, like, the friends I had at the time were quiet, so I was quiet.
Yeah, you were almost fitting in.
Yeah. I was fitting in, and that was me protecting myself. I wanted to fit in because I knew I was different as well. But I remember every time I did a quirk or, like, did something that was just me, I remembered getting made fun of.
Right,
so I subconsciously decided to be quiet.
Yeah, that was your protective
yeah.
Mechanism as well, 100%. And it makes sense, you know, especially in those instances, because like you said, when you let your personality slip out more, or that other side of you that you were essentially hiding, you were almost judged by it.
Yeah.
Or for it.
Yeah.
No, of course. And do you think your life, well, I already know what you're going to say to this, but do you think your life has changed since you've started the medication?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not even like the change in me is just, now I haven't taken my medication today. I don't take it every single day, but I know when I need to take it.
Okay.
Like I can function easier throughout my day. It is very expensive, so that's the hard thing about it. It is very expensive. It's hard trying to pay for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, life has gotten easier. It's gotten. I still have my, my inability to remember to text anyone back has not helped. Like, well, it does. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does help me. Like it clicks in my brain. Like you need to do this.
Yeah.
Like I get things done easier day to day, and I can focus on one thing rather than 50 million things.
Yeah, and you end up being more productive.
Yeah. Yeah, far more productive. I can get through my day easier. And like I said, the anxiety, one of the biggest differences is the anxiety, that it completely calms down the anxiety. So I can actually, instead of freaking out and not doing anything because the anxiety's become so overwhelming, I can actually calm down.
Yeah.
And deal with the situation, like deal with the washing or deal with this that needs to get done. Like you can almost like calm down, breathe, and sort out that. Like I said, there's not as many things going through my head all the time. It has taken away the song. There's always a song running through the back of my head.
Yeah.
About 20. Like it did take away the song. So that's unfortunate. I like the wee song. It changed every now and again, but I like the wee song. Like it's all, see, when you take it, you feel the difference right away.
Yeah.
Right away. Like.
And with the medication, is it like one of those, it wears off, obviously.
Yeah.
Throughout the day. So if you felt like you needed it today, you would have took it in the morning or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. The only thing is the one I'm right now seems to have, it's not been good for my appetite. Some of them, some of them do come with side effects. It's not been good for my appetite, so I obviously might have to change that one. But yeah, it's a trial and error of getting the right medication as well. Like once you do get diagnosed, like it's not saying you'll get this medication and this is going to work right away.
Yes.
Like, it might, this is actually the second medication. Like I went up a dose just.
Okay.
But it will take, like, it's not going to be like this medication. And you don't need the medication. Like if somebody doesn't want the medication, there's therapy, there's even just understanding, understand what ADHD is, how much that helps, and like therapy and all that sort of thing, and like that helps too, because that once you have your diagnosis, you can understand. Like if you didn't want to take the medication, you don't have to. For me personally, because a lot of people say the medication dulls them. So for me personally, I like the medication. The medication has helped me. It hasn't really just dulled me down.
Yeah.
It has helped me, but some people don't like the medication, so they don't want to take it. But even if you don't want to take the medication, there all our help, just like therapy, counselling, and like even just understanding, it can help too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think even what you said, there is like awareness, and like if you have a diagnosis, you can actually learn about it.
Yeah.
And it'll probably make a lot more sense to you who you are, or like why you react the way you do, or why you do certain things that you do. Whereas probably beforehand, you would have almost been frustrated at yourself and be like, why is my brain like this? Why am I constantly doing this? Why am I letting the washing pile up? Whereas now you can be more like easier, nicer to yourself, essentially,
Yeah, I think as well, all our people, like we live in a world that is not made for the neurodivergent, like for autism, ADHD. We live in a world that's not made for that. And a lot of people don't understand. And I think even understanding me, because, because like I said, like I have amazing friends. I've had friends for years. Most of them know exactly who I am, right? Most of them know what I'm like and all of that, and they love me for it, and they love me for my quirks, they love me for who I am. But making new friends and like that kind of like, it is hard because people just don't understand you, and they just don't get you. And like, I think other people understanding would help too. Like, just understand why, like, maintaining friendships. Like, I don't hate you. I just can't remember to text you back.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think for a lot of people, if you were meeting people now, they would expect you to text, every few days or whatever. Whereas your current friends are low maintenance. They know they'll hear from you eventually.
They know they'll hear from me eventually. Eventually, they will hear from me. Yeah. Or if you call me, you'll get me right away. If you text me, you might be like 3 to 4 days. If that, 3 to 4 days is impressive.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
But no, even especially like this day and age with social media and all of that stuff, it actually made things harder. Yeah. It made things harder, and like, it's just, this world is it's just not made for us. So it's just not made for our quirks. Yeah,
of course. And look, worry you're sort of like describing that, but do you find that since getting the diagnosis, you have come more to terms and acceptance with everything?
Yeah.
Like, you're okay with who you are,
I'm
essentially.
okay. Yeah, because beforehand, like, for years and years and years, I tried to change who I was, and I didn't like who I was. I didn't like myself.
You weren't authentic to yourself?
No, I wasn't. I kept trying to pretend to be somebody else. And I did that in relationships and all too. I tried to pretend to be a person that they would like, rather than just be me, myself. And that doesn't get you anywhere. So it doesn't, like, I have to just accept who I am and love myself for who I am. And eventually you'll be surrounded by people that love you for who you are, instead of trying to pretend to be somebody else for them.
And do you think the way you approach friendships, relationships and everything now is different to maybe a few years ago?
Yeah, it's completely different. I mean, not to say I'm single as single can be, and like, I don't even, to be honest, the reason I'm single is my own fault. Because
we embrace that.
I think I've just, like, dating's hard work. I think the last time I was in a date was like probably March.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah. That's only like
but that was
2 months
the
ago.
only date that year.
Oh, okay. Look, you have to embrace being single, and they all say they're gonna come along when you least expect them.
But that's the thing. I want to find somebody that is gonna love me for me.
Yeah.
And they enjoy me instead of wanting to change me.
100%.
Or me wanting to change myself so to what they want.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be that person anymore. And again, with friendships too, like, I ADHD tend to, it's almost like I gravitate towards problematic people.
Okay, yeah.
And I have throughout my, since I was a teenager, it's almost like they see you coming.
Yeah. They're ready for you.
They're ready for you. They see you coming. And I think I've learned through, like, unhealthy relationships and stuff like that, that was me craving that, like, that unhealthy, like, again, with the rejection sensitivity, if somebody rejects me, like, I want them even more, which is so toxic.
You're coming in to fix them.
Yeah, I'm coming in to fix them. Like, it's so toxic. Yeah. It's so unhealthy. And then, again, me trying to change, because I'll blame myself.
Yeah.
Like, I will just say there's something wrong with me. And again, that's me trying to change who I am to make to be the person they want. And so it's like ADHD meets narcissist. It's like, yay!
Yeah.
No. It's only now, I'm 30 and I'm only starting to learn this now.
But you know what? I think it's only being like something that's being more spoken about now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because beforehand, like, toxic, abusive relationships, it was almost normalized. Like, it's like, whoever you find, that's who you're with. But even if they're a dick, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas you're not settling for that now.
But I think it's as well, like, abusive relationships, not even abusive relationships, toxic relationships, most people have to say, they'll have to be, like, hitting you. They have to be doing
mental abuse.
No, mentally. But even mentally be, like, you know, somebody that is that narcissistic personality, and me who's the ADHD, who's like rejection sensitivity, and they just want to make everyone like, you know, and again, if you're not giving me the attention, I think you hate me. So I'm like craving that, like that unhealthy like balance that it's so toxic in the relationship, like, because it's such an unhealthy balance. It's like you're constantly not giving me like the love, but I'm constantly chasing that love.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's a problem within me. So, and I'm sensitive to that rejection, so I'm running after you even more. And you're treating me just that narcissistic, like you don't actually, you know, like that narcissistic, they enjoy that.
That's what I was going to say.
They enjoy that attention that I'm giving. I'm doing everything for you. I'm chasing you. Everything's for you. And I also believe when you're telling me I'm the problem, I'll believe it. I am the problem. I am the problem. And I think that's why a lot of people who have this condition, especially in undiagnosed, they end up trapped in them kinds of relationships too.
Yeah.
So they do. Like they end up stuck in that. And they, you know, I know for years I genuinely believed I was the problem. Yeah, I genuinely believed it was me. Like it is me. I am the problem, and I'm not doing this, and I can't do this. I believed it. I really believed it. And then I do think without my, you know, understanding who I am, and without understanding, and I went to therapy for years, by the way, like, and I would have probably ended up back into another exactly the same relationship.
Yeah, you're going to keep repeating the same pattern.
The same pattern over and over and over again until I understood why I was repeating the same pattern over and over and over again. So, yeah.
No, but that makes sense. And what I was going to say is like the narcissist will feed off of that.
Yeah, the narcissist will feed off of that. Yeah. And that's how you end up in that, because the narcissist will go for that.
Yeah, of course. And they're constantly going to be knocking at your confidence too. Mm-hmm. So like reassuring you that you are the problem until you essentially believe it, you know. Mm-hmm. And because your self-esteem drops, you're more likely to stay in that relationship longer than you need to. And like you said, if you don't come out of that and actually heal, I hate that word, but you know what I'm saying, like heal and go to therapy and actually become aware of why are repeating these patterns.
I'm repeating the patterns, why I'm repeating the patterns.
Why you're attracting those types of people.
And why And exactly. And like that was that took, and it was my therapist as well that also told me, this is before I was diagnosed. It was the therapist that I went to before. She also seen the attention deficit. She's seen that in me, and she's seen the ADHD, and she was like, yeah, like you have that, you know? Yeah. Like I said, it was when I was in university at 20 when I was first told, have you been diagnosed? And then I went to therapy, and she was like, right on the money. Like, you know, a lot of the things I was doing, a lot of the things that, you know, she's seen the attention, like the sensitive to rejection, the attention deficit, all of that. Yeah. Like, she's seen it all. And like, she even saying like she helped me out with a lot of that. Like with even before my diagnosis, like she knew right off the bat as well. And like she helped me a lot out with the rejection sensitivity. She helped me with like the attention deficit and all of that. And like that really helped me too.
I was going to say, with somebody who has been diagnosed, or maybe not diagnosed, but this is what's going on inside their head, would you recommend for them to go to therapy?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. The medication kind of just helps with certain elements of ADHD. It does not get rid of it.
Yeah.
It does not get rid of it. It doesn't get rid of other things that come along with it. Like, you are on the spectrum. You know, this isn't just like, oh, take this pill, you'll be fine. Yeah. This will cure. It's not like, this is so much more than, the medication helps massively. It changed my life completely. And it is so disappointing that I have to pay for how much that has helped me, that it changed my life.
That's the thing. If you had a pain somewhere, you get free medication, you know?
Yeah. But even like the NHS, like you get 6 sessions with a counsellor. Like I did pay for my counsellor too. I went privately for my counsellor, and you get 6 sessions with the NHS. Literally 6 sessions, and somehow you're cured after 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's.
And then even if you get another round of 6 sessions, it's probably with a different counsellor.
That's what I was going to say. And as well as that, with NHS counsellors, they are just going off textbook.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So if you don't have maybe the symptoms that are obvious you have ADHD, they're just ticking off a box.
They might not even be trained for...
Yeah. They're just a general...
They're just a general,
therapist. Which is the problem with NHS. Do you know what I mean? Because even if it's ADHD, if it's anxiety or depression, you're all going to be thrown into the same bracket. Which shouldn't be the case, because every single person is dealing with something different. So they need to go with somebody who's trained in that specific field. And what you said there as well, you're doing your 6 sessions and that's it. You're cured. You can't cure ADHD. It's something that's going on in your mind. You know, it's something that you have to learn to live with. Essentially, because it is something you're going to have for the rest of your life. You know, it doesn't go away. So the fact that they just mark it as 6 sessions, you know, somebody might need just 6 and they'll be aware of it and understand what's going on. Someone might need 6 years. Like, it's going to be different for everybody.
And even at that though, even if you do get the sessions with the NHS, it is a massive waiting list to even get them the 6 sessions. And like, I know, like I was assaulted when I lived in England. And like when I went to therapy, before, and I went to therapy recently, and I was dealing with a lot of that trauma as well, because like I'd never dealt with that. I pushed it under the rug. But I was meant to be, after that happened to me, I was actually meant to be on the waiting list for, because that happened in England, but I moved over here.
Okay.
And I was on the waiting list to get counselling through the NHS for that, and it never happened.
Well, firstly, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's okay. I've spoke about that before. I'm quite open about that. It happened when I was 22, and it's massively impacted my life. It's massively impacted, like, years it took before, like, but as well, I was pushing it under the rug for a long time. And like I said, the sessions I was meant to be given from the NHS never happened.
Yeah.
They never happened.
They just don't care.
I think I got forgotten.
Yeah.
I literally think I got forgotten.
You were just another number to them. And that's like, it's disgusting. You know, like it really, really is, because cases like that just aren't prioritized. Like, unless you are physically, I don't know, your legs half cut off, like mental health, don't get me wrong, they go on about mental health.
They'll say about mental health and how important it is, but like,
they do nothing to help you.
About
Absolutely nothing. The only thing they will do is give you an antidepressant, whether it works for you, whether it doesn't matter. Let's brush everything under the carpet and here's your medication. But again, it's only anxiety and depression. Do you know what I mean? If you have autism, ADHD,
but there's
anything.
A lot of people even now, like I'm 30, I've only been diagnosed now at the age of 30. There's people being diagnosed with autism at this age.
Yeah.
Because it was, especially females, because we were missed for years.
Yeah.
Like it just shows you though, it's women are... They're the, like, I know I say that, but even with like problems with endometriosis and stuff like that,
it's not a priority.
It's not a priority because you're not a man.
Yeah.
And it's not looked into because you're not, like, it's a female problem.
100%. You know, I actually seen a study and it was like 1 in 4 women have endo. I can't pronounce the full word. 1 in 4 women have endo, and there's still no diagnosis for it. You have to get surgery to actually get a diagnosis. Like, so I could go in and think I have it and they tell me I don't, and I've just got surgery done. Like, I think that's absolutely ridiculous. PCOS, everything. Like, you're just right. Any female associated, I don't want to say illness, but you know what I'm trying to say. Health concern. Yeah,
ADHD has been about for a very long time, and it's only been recent years that they discovered females present differently. They only discovered that about 10 years ago.
Did a female discover this, by the way?
Probably. Probably.
Yeah.
And female, as well as autism. Female autism presents differently in females as well. And we, like, autism, anything on the spectrum has been like a lot of females around my age were misdiagnosed because we were forgotten about it. We presented differently. We weren't rowdy. We weren't a problem. We weren't doing any of it. We were just
minding your own business.
Like, quiet.
Yeah.
or we were just odd,
Yeah.
or just a bit different.
I hate that word different, you know,
Different,
and the
yeah.
fact that you had to believe that you were just different, even though there was so much more going on. And like you said, like when you hyperfixate on one thing, you're a perfectionist, you do it perfectly.
Oh, I would always say, like, how did they not notice I got an A in history and I couldn't pass English?
Yeah.
Like, did you not think something was going on there?
Literally. That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
I was like, did you not think something was a wee bit
slightly off.
odd? But then I thrived in uni.
Yeah.
I literally thrived in uni because I loved the subject, because it was obviously something that I wanted to do. So I loved the subject, and and I wasn't as quiet in uni because I kind of found myself.
Yeah.
And that's whenever and I went to uni in England, and my lecturer was obviously that England was a bit more advanced and that sort of thing than over here. And he said he actually came to me and said, Shannon, have you been ever diagnosed with ADHD? Because he literally seen that in me right away.
That's crazy. It took, like, he noticed it, but nobody else did.
Yeah, because I was swirling it, like, every time because he teach me more than one subject. And obviously with the subjects that I didn't like,
You were just,
I was not there.
yeah.
I was not there. I was swinging in my chair. I was clicking a pen.
Yeah.
I was not there. I could not focus. And then he would ask me a question, because that's the thing. I was quiet in school and I was never asked questions. So they never knew. I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
He would ask me a question and I had no idea what was going on, because I had not paid attention to a single thing he had said. But I wasn't making a problem in the class.
Yeah. You were just minding your own business.
Yeah, I wasn't making a problem. I was looking at something else entirely. I was clicking my pen, and I was like, what did he just say?
Did he just say my name?
What? So, and then he used to refer to me as a puppy. He said I reminded him of a puppy.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
I don't know. He was actually a fantastic teacher.
Yeah.
A fantastic teacher. And he was the first person that came up to me and said, Shannon, have you ever been diagnosed with ADHD? And I was like, what is that? And then I had a friend at the time as well, and I said, the teacher at the time, I said, he just told me, he asked me if I've ever been diagnosed with ADHD, and my friend said, oh, my boyfriend has that. Yeah, Shannon, you're very similar to him.
No, stop.
I was like, okay.
That's two people diagnosing me with something.
Something might be going on here. And then I kind of just was like, I was already diagnosed with dyslexia at this point.
Yeah.
And because I had that, I got help with my, that's the thing. I'm lucky I was diagnosed with dyslexia, because a lot of the things they helped me with did actually help with my ADHD. So I never did exams in a hall. I got to do them in a
separate
room.
Yeah.
Thank God, because I could not have sat in a hall. Oh my goodness.
You'd just be looking at
Imagine
everybody
being
else.
locked in a hall all day.
Yeah.
With nothing. Like, I would literally be staring at anything possible other than my actual exam. And like, other people around me as well, and then maybe they were like all sat in like behind each other in chairs. Like, I could not have focused on my exam without staring at the person next to me.
Yeah, you just
whatever they were doing, or where they were flipping their page, or like, I remember once doing an exam in the hall. And if somebody had moved on to the next page, but I was still on my page, I would have freaked out thinking that I wasn't doing it quick. And then I was overthinking about why are they doing it so quickly that I forgot to even do mine.
Yeah.
So I never did I did my GCSEs and A levels all in a separate room.
Okay, well, that was probably a positive.
That was, thank God, I could not have done no.
I love that. But, well, this was actually a very insightful conversation, and I honestly do think a lot of people will be able to relate to it. Like, I have a few clients who have recently got diagnosed. Now, I didn't question them if it was privately or not, so it's something I'm actually going to look into. But I know that there are even, like, one of my clients is in her 40s, and her whole life, that's what she was saying. She was like, I just didn't know what was going on. And now it's like,
and it's like, oh my goodness. And it's like something, it's both sad and happy, because you have to like realize I've gone my whole life. If I had got help, how different my life would be. So you have to kind of let go of the,
past, essentially.
and move forward and then it's happy because finally I have answers.
100%.
But it's both sad and happy to finally get a diagnosis. But to me, I'm very grateful for, and the fact that I just wish there was more help out there, because there's a lot of people that can't afford to go privately.
100%. There has to be, if it's not going to be NHS, there has to be some like organisations or something.
There has to be, even if the NHS could get their fucking finger out and do something, because people are struggling.
Yeah.
Especially around my age group, where there was missed as children, around my age group, and to be honest, a lot of them are females.
Yeah. And this is another thing. If you can get it done privately, the NHS can do it as well.
Yeah.
And it's that simple. Do you know what I mean? It literally is that simple. Or
even helping with the medication. If there's some kind of like, it's like I've contacted like the likes of Sinn Féin as well about this. If there's something they can do to even like, if there's some kind of shared care or something like that, where they can somehow offer the medication on prescription, or even help with the payment of the medication, or even paying half of it, like
some sort of funding.
Because it is like £110 a month is a lot of money for something that makes such a difference in your life.
100%. That's for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's for the rest of my life. Yeah, that's £110 for the rest of my life. And like I said, the medication has really helped me.
Yeah,
it's been mind blowing, like absolutely mind blowing. It's just something needs to be done.
Yeah,
something needs to be done. And it needs to be talked about.
100%, and that's a problem. It's not being talked about enough, or people are just using it as something that's entertaining or a meme.
Yeah,
when they don't know what it's like.
Yeah, they say ADHD is now more talked about than ever, but it's talked about, and then there's also glamorized.
Yeah, I think that's a better word. It's glamorized.
It's glamorized. Yeah.
But go on.
Now I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, I was just going to say, obviously, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story as well. Because, it seems like you've came on leaps and bounds from it,
Leaps and bounds. And I think, like, I know I do, like, struggle with messaging people back and stuff like that. But I always say, if anyone needs any questions or advice, and like, even just, like, I know there's a lot of people that aren't as far along as me with, like, just understanding and the difficulties with it, and just understanding how to overcome them difficulties.
Yeah.
Like, I am here. I am like, and I'm an open book. Like, at this point, I've decided who the fuck cares.
100%.
I used to care so much about what people thought about me that I've got to the point where I'm like, no, I'm not that person anymore. I don't care what you think about me. I just know this is who I am. And if I care about me, and my friends and family care about me, and my friends and family love me for me, that's all that
matters,
I am an open book, that's all that matters.
Just text her. I'll leave her handles and everything below, and she'll reply to you in a few months.
In a few months, maybe, hopefully. Just keep sending me messages.
If on a good day, she'll get back to you straight away, and then you'll hear.
You know what? So some people, I get one day, like, I'll be like literally on the ball. I'll be like replying back to everybody.
And then
I'll
disappear.
be like, and then I disappear.
No, but I will. I'll leave your handles and everything below. Even if anybody wants their makeup done by a perfectionist.
Yes.
We will leave all the handles. But thank you so much for coming on, and obviously, being open about everything. Very insightful conversation. And like I said, I think a lot of people, it might even just give them a little bit of clarity if they are feeling the way you were feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, even just if they think that sounds like me.
Some reassurance.
Reassurance that there's nothing wrong with, like, this is, there's nothing wrong. This is who you are. There's nothing wrong with you.
You're not weird.
You're not weird, and you're not not understanding why you react the way you react. As just understanding that's why it gives some kind of clarity to if you're like, oh my goodness, that sounds like me.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. And I think it will stand out to some people because, like you said, you didn't know. You thought that was normal. You thought your mind going 90 miles an hour.
Oh no, I didn't know nobody else had that. I didn't know nobody else had a song running through their head all the time. You know, like that song that runs in the back of your head all the time. You know, there's always one.
No.
I'm like, no. I didn't know that wasn't normal. And when I first took the medication and my brain went quiet, I was like, is this the way everybody else is?
Who turned the DJ off?
What's going on?
I missed the song.
I do miss the song. I don't miss the 5 million thoughts going through my head at the one time, but I miss the song.
I get that.
I didn't take my medication today, so now it's Luke Holmes.
Okay. Oh, we love that.
Hurricane.
Chill vibes today.
Yeah.
No, anyway, Shannon, thank you so much for coming on. And of course, thank you everybody for listening. And
Thank
I'll
you.
see you all next Wednesday.